So hey everyone, I'm back with Monley, first try. And before I talk about this this app, um, it's important to note that I have reviewed numerous language training software. Uh, Rosetta Stone. I've for me, I enjoy learning languages, and I guess since I was in college, I purchased many books, software, and it's been my way of learning languages, except for Japanese, which I actually went to college for. But and also I learned Spanish in college as well. But part of my my passion is learning about different cultures, traveling, and of course, when I travel, I like to learn the language. And part of that is just learning the basics enough to get by, enough to say, certain things, but also to learn about certain politeness levels because every country is different. And I actually have a story to tell. Like, for instance, for Japanese, I used to learn prior. Actually, no, it was during when I was still in college, but no, it was before college. Um, Prior to college, I used to learn through television, and trust me, I thought that was a good thing. But I realized that for Japanese, they have structure, politeness levels, and when you say certain things to people who are older, while it may be natural for people of the same age to say it, you can't say it to a person who's older. It's a respect thing, and it could actually set someone off. And what happened is I had a friend whose mother came, uh, you know, uh, a friend from Japan, and her mother came, and she was actually her husband is well known in the entertainment industry, and the mother, she was really proper and kind and brought presents. But when she was leaving, you know, instead of saying the standard sayonara, I say, I said, ja mata, see you later. But the thing is that while you could say, jane or ja mata ne, um, how it sounds like is something you say with friends. But let's say that you're meeting your boss, you don't, or someone who's a professional, an exec. You don't say, hey, what's up. You want to have proper etiquette, I'm sorry, etiquette when having conversations. And it's the same thing with other cultures. Now, it's important to note that with Monley, you learn, um, some, I have not tried different languages, and there's some languages I have not studied before, but I have read some reviews, and some people say the dictation is off. Some of you saw that earlier, where I had to keep on repeating myself for it to take in. But the type of so far what I'm learning in the Japanese is that um, it does skip certain things. It gets you to the things you need to know, but in terms of actual conversation, it's not going to you replace studying the proper etiquette of levels, especially if there are respect levels, especially if you're doing for business or meeting with someone who is an elder, um, because language is important, communication is important. But if you say it wrong, you can set someone off. And in my case, when I said that to my friend's mother, while she was leaving, she came back and said to me, who taught you that Japanese? And I said, I learned from a television show. And she says, I want to tell you one thing. Do not ever say that again to someone who's older. That is really rude. And pretty much, she says, she's like, but I want you to know this, you know, before you start making mistakes. and she was kind about it. And since then, when I went to college and learned, and I realized, oh, great, yeah, I made a major mistake. And it's not a deal breaker, but the thing is that if you are a person who is traveling for business, you could lose business deals. So just be careful. This one is mainly if you're talking to, this app is great just for learning the basics, just to get a point across. Maybe going to the hotel, maybe getting a taxi, maybe getting, going on dinner. It gives you enough for them to understand. And fortunately, you if you are in another country, you run into someone or a worker who knows English. That's not the case for many countries, but I know in Japan, usually for highly traveled areas, that they learn enough English to communicate with patrons. So okay, so for Monley, let's go ahead and check it out. So far, what I've learned is that it, in a way, it's almost similar to Rosetta Stone. Um, they give you the languages, they give you pictures. Well, in Rosetta Stone, they give you pictures, and it's not exactly people of that country. It seems like it's reused for different languages, and I understand. They just put a Japanese overlay. In this case, it's obvious that the settings are usually in the US or Europe, so it's not in Japan. So people who are hoping to learn Japanese and you'll be placed in a Japanese setting, this is not the case. But do know that for other language software that I've used, unless it's specifically made for Japanese only, um, by a Japanese company, then you might see that. But a lot of major companies tend to use photos or video from cross that promotes languages, but it's not meant to show a certain region, and I think this is the case with Monley. So right now, as you see, that I did a few last night, and I got 25% completed. So that means it's not long. It's just enough to give you the basics, and that's just beginner mode. Intermediate, haven't started that, and then there's advanced. So there's quite a bit there. So we're looking at taxi, hotel reception. Let's see if we can go further. Here we go. Hotel room, at the restaurant, appointment, shopping. There are tickets, and I think that's just perfect. I think it's just enough for the basics. But for someone who really wants to learn the language, um, there definitely do your research on books to get. As for Rosetta Stone, it's you could get it for a good price, but there's other companies that also sell language learning for much cheaper. It's a competitive industry, so and you can learn from books. You can learn online from YouTube. There are definitely ways to learn. So I think this app is great at under $10, and um, you know, because it's just the basics. It has so many languages. I mean, you click on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So I think for me, um, I think I'd like to learn a little bit Korean and Russian, possibly some German. I know I've been studying French and Italian. I actually have been studying Chinese and Korean as well, but it's good that you can actually learn a few basic things. I wouldn't, mind learning um, a good number of languages on here because I do love to travel internationally. So, but yeah, let's continue. Last time I was too sleepy to continue, but one of the things that I was when I was using this is that in Japanese I was saying des, and you kind of have to, you know, it's part of the language to be polite and add that. But the software looks at it as, oh, you're just They look at you're a foreigner, you're just trying to get the point across. And again, if you're going to Tokyo or Osaka or Kyoto, a major metropolitan area, they more than likely they speak English enough to for you to get your point across, especially at restaurants. But restaurants is a different thing. I'm talking about Japan and metropolitan areas, but for the most part, yeah, let's go ahead and try hotel reception. Use headphones with a microphone. Okay.
こんばんは。
Konbanwa. So things you could say konbanwa to say it right back to her. You can say konbanwa o genki desu ka? Good evening, how are you doing today? And then you got konbanwa o genki desu ka? And it's pretty much, oh no, this is konnichiwa, I'm sorry. Hello, how are you? But actually it's, I guess you could say that. There's always a difference between konnichiwa, konbanwa, and there's you'll learn that if you study Japanese. But anyway, let's go ahead and do the basic of konbanwa. Right back. Konbanwa. Okay, that took it.
どのタイプの部屋がいいですか?
So usually when I order a hotel in Japan, I tell them that I get a single room, no smoking. Usually I say that in English, it's just fine. But so you're gonna say single room, and then let's see how they say.
シングルルーム一部屋お願いします。
Okay, heya means room, onegaishimasu, just to confirm that. A room with a view. I need a double room. So I'm gonna say room. Heya onegaishimasu. I messed up there.
ゆっくり話してください。
はい。Single room, heya onegaishimasu. See, you gotta be clear.
今すぐに景色が見える部屋がいいですか?
はい。So, いえ means no. それはありがとう。Wait, それはありがたいです。That would be great. I would never say it this way, but はい。So that's all you have to say is はい。はい。Yes, that would be great.
ありがとうございます。お調べいたしますのでお待ちください。はい。どれくらいご滞在の予定ですか?
So this person is saying
今月月曜日から金曜日まで
Okay.
今週
Okay, so I recommend just writing it down if it makes it, because you get your point across. Otherwise, you're going to have to learn the days, especially how many days. That's where a book or even Google Translate will be very important. But in this case, I think you can just get by with this month. So, Kongetsu.
はい。完璧です。お名前を教えてください。
私の名前、デニスです。
ここへは初めてですか?
Are you here for the first time? Yeah.
素晴らしい。ここは気に入りましたか?
This is great. Do you like it here? Hi. Well, what is this person saying?
いいえ、全然強くありません。
Who's stupid enough to say that? That's not nice. Hi.
それをお聞きして嬉しいです。雨が降りそうだ。明日の天気は多分良くなるだろう。 鍵はこちらです。
Cool.
助けていただきありがとうございました。
Now you could just say arigato gozaimasu. It has it right here. It's the second one. Arigato gozaimasu.
どういたしまして。
Okay. Sayonara. Bye bye. Mata aishimashou.
またお会いしましょう。
Mata aimashou.
さようなら。
Sayonara. I like how they have these settings from the airport, the hotel, and everything like that, although they kind of look like zombies.
こんばんは。
こんばんは。こんばんは。
どうしましたか？
Can I help you? I guess you could say take this to my room, but
私の機内持ち込みスーツケースをお願いします。
okay. This is where Romanji, or an English spelt way to say it, would be very useful, because just by listening to it,
私の機内持ち込みスーツケースをお願いします。
it's not going to fly with a lot of people. A lot of people need to see it to say it. In fact, even when you go to college and learn Japanese, they have two books in Romanji, which is English, the words spelled out in English, or in Japanese writing as it is right now. So I think that by having, especially with other languages, of having it phonetically written so people can actually say it and try to say it, instead of just hear and say it, would make it a lot easier. So I'll just say もちろんです。
それはあなたの荷物ですか？
You say はい。はい。
もちろんです。
本当にありがとうございます。
大丈夫です。私の後についてきてください。
So, that was kind of easy. But already, I can see already the things that, how it would help people, but how it, some people may find some issues. But the thing is I like how the developer is actually looking at the reviews and seeing how it could boost, or, how they can make things easier for people. So that's a plus. Anyway, I'm going to cut it right here because I do not want to show you the entire game. Otherwise, you guys won't buy it. So, if anything, I do like the Mondly app, especially priced at under $10. Looking at O deals, the app has not gone down lower than that, but it may have gone on sale. I really don't know. But in terms as a language app of learning up to 30 languages, just the basics for people, to communicate is nice. But I do recommend, if you are traveling, to have, in Japan, they have pocket Wi-Fi, or you could get a SIM card that works internationally. I do recommend using Google Translate installed. That really helps, especially reading certain languages or signs. That really helps. There's also pocket translators. I have a really nice one that has many languages where you could just speak and it'll translate immediately, and that's very useful. Or again, learning the language. There's books, there's audio tapes, there's YouTube, there's software, but for VR, I do like it because it's priced under $10. There's multiple languages, and I do like how they created these sceneries from the plane, riding on a plane, getting to an airport, riding on a train or subway, and now at the hotel. And again, there's restaurants and so forth. So anyway, I'll cut it from here, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. And recording.